Welcome to our channel, Tech Trends. Today's video, we'll be diving into comprehensive guides on laptops and desktops. This time, we're going beyond the basics to explore the topics in greater depth. Get ready for an in-depth look at everything you need to know about laptops and desktops. Let's get started. Let's start with CPU namings because they determine if a PC is power or efficiency focused. What do the letters at the end of CPUs mean for Intel desktop processors? The Intel naming convention consists of 4 elements: brand, model, generation, and TDP values. First, you have the brand. Intel Core is a relatively old but very powerful segment, while Ultra is the latest model that focuses on efficiency from Intel. The number indicates the generation, and the letter at the end indicates the expected TDP value and the form factor it's aimed at KX and XC, which indicate that the CPU is unlocked and can operate at higher clock speeds than the advertised maximum limit. This capability is known as overclocking. As long as you can keep its temperature under control, it will keep reaching higher speeds in laptops. You can identify overclock-enabled CPUs with the letters HK and HX, while they can't offer the clock speeds of a desktop. Klein HK, K, and HX CPUs are also able to overclock. So, if there is no letter at the end of the product, it means that it is a locked CPU, which means you can't overclock it. These CPUs are designed to work within advertised power limits. For most users, they are an excellent option because they perform very well with minimal extra spending in laptops. Locked CPUs are typically identified by the letter H. They are usually offered with laptops that come with high resolution and high refresh rate models, but this can vary by region, so you have to look for display information. The letter F means that the CPU is not able to overclock and is not capable of video output because it lacks the integrated graphics card to do so. If you are buying this CPU, you have to buy a GPU as well. If you're interested in relying solely on your dedicated GPU, and you mean that the CPU is optimized for lighter tasks, they do have integrated GPUs but are not able to reach higher clock speeds. These products are optimized for longer battery life. Chromebooks that are aimed at entry-level users use these CPUs. CPU models come with different thread and core counts, power limits, clock speeds, and cache for Intel. The first thing you'll see is the branding and model of the Intel Core lineup consists of 4 distinct categories. i3 line. These CPUs are entry-level products that perform well on lower power setups. They are mostly used in office or entry-level products. The i5 line is a more performance-focused line. They offer at least 6 cores and are a good choice for a gaming rig. Additionally, their cache capacity is usually higher than that of the i3 and i7 lines. The i7 line is the preferred choice for heavier tasks such as streaming alongside gaming. If you're looking for a PC for video editing, the i7 line is the best choice because most editing software requires your PC to have at least 8 cores. They typically have more cache than the i5 in laptops. They can be a sweet spot because they are usually priced better than i9 line laptops while offering similar performance. Intel also has a new line of CPUs focused on efficiency alongside performance called Intel Core Ultra. They can easily be spotted with their branding, which indicates their new generation. These CPUs are offered in the mobile segment, where both performance and efficiency are important, and they belong to a similar branch as the i7 and i5 lines. The i9 line represents the most powerful offerings from the Intel Core lineup. They offer at least 12 cores. These CPUs are the best from the Intel lineup. Whether you're looking for desktop or laptop options, these CPUs can handle very heavy workloads. In the AMD lineup, the naming scheme is similar. First, you'll see the brand and model name, like AMD Ryzen 3, 5, 7, and 9. As you can see, this is similar to the Intel Core lineup. As the model number goes up, you'll have more cores, threads, and cache, just like the Intel products. These are aimed at different types of users. Unlike Intel processors, which can only be overclocked in specific models, all AMD processor models are overclockable. However, your motherboard needs to support this feature. You can overclock your Ryzen processors on motherboards such as the B450 or X570. What are core and thread? Do they matter in gaming? If you've ever looked at the specifications of a certain CPU, you'll notice terms like 8 cores, 16 threads, or 12 cores, 24 threads. A core is a subunit of a CPU. Today's CPUs contain more than one core for better performance and power efficiency. A thread count indicates the tasks that a core can handle. In the simplest terms, they act like virtual cores. Almost all programs benefit from this, but the ones that benefit the most are creative programs like Adobe Premiere, Photoshop, DaVinci Resolve, and 3D modeling programs. What is CPU cache? Why is it important? If your CPU is powerful enough, the rate of data that it processes may exceed the bandwidth of your RAM. This basically means that your RAM cannot transfer the data fast enough to the CPU at high speeds, which can cause performance drops and system latency. CPUs have very fast memory modules called cache located near them. These modules allow for faster data transfers than what your RAM is capable of by itself. Cache is particularly important in use cases where your CPU processes a large amount of data, such as 3D modeling, high-resolution video editing, streaming, and AAA gaming. Cache plays a crucial role in improving the efficiency and speed of these tasks by reducing the need to access data from slower RAM, thereby enhancing overall system performance. Now let's move away from the processor and take a look at what we need to know about graphics cards and GPU use. You need to look for these three features: CUDA core count, VRAM capacity, and wattage limits. Let's start with CUDA core. What is CUDA core? CUDA cores are the processing units that NVIDIA GPUs use. They were developed during the GTX 800 series. They are similar to CPU cores in their base design, but they are simpler. They have a wider bandwidth and work in parallel, which allows them to process an enormous amount of data in real time. This is very beneficial for graphically demanding tasks such as gaming and 3D modeling in recent years. CUDA core's advantage in processing large amounts of data has made NVIDIA GPX a very good candidate for more unusual tasks, such as running large language models or virtual neural networks for AI systems. AMD has a similar technology called stream processors. They are similar to CUDA cores but have slightly less processing power. However, their optimization options are wider in terms of performance. Both processors are able to provide a good experience, but this is highly dependent on VRAM driver support and optimizations. What is an RT core? An RT core, short for Ray Tracing Core, is a specialized processing unit found in NVIDIA's RTX series GPUs. RT cores are specifically designed to accelerate ray tracing, a rendering technique used to generate realistic lighting shadows and reflections in 3D graphics. Ray tracing involves simulating the behavior of light as it interacts with objects in a scene, tracing the paths of individual rays of light to determine how they interact with surfaces and objects. This process is computationally intensive and traditionally requires significant processing power. With the introduction of RT cores in NVIDIA's RTX series, real-time ray tracing has become more feasible in gaming and other graphics-intensive applications, allowing for more immersive and visually stunning experiences with realistic lighting and reflections. AMD GPUs are also capable of tracing via RT cores. However, NVIDIA has an advantage as they use software optimization to get the best results. What is a tensor core? Tensor cores are basically a more optimized version of CUDA cores. CUDA cores focus on providing high performance on parallel tasks like rendering or ray tracing. Tensor cores are optimized for AI-based use cases like machine learning, virtual neural networks, and models. They are produced specifically for AI programming, but GPUs like the RTX 3000 and 4000 series also have tensor cores for NVIDIA's DLS technology. So in a way, you are also using these cores. This technology uses AI to increase the resolution and allows you to play at lower settings with high FPS rates. AMD has a similar feature called FSR. It doesn't rely on tensor cores and is open-sourced, which means you can use it on NVIDIA cards as well as older GPUs. But it doesn't always give the same performance because of possible optimization issues. Alright, let's finish the video slowly. As I mentioned, if you really like this video, I'll release the second part soon. Of course, your reaction will determine if you like the video. Don't forget to hit the like button. If not, feel free to dislike. Stay tuned until the next video. Take care and you are awesome.